Definitely gonna need a cup of tea for this one. So I'm just gonna say before we start this video, I have not had any filler or any Botox or anything done cosmetic procedure wise at all in 2.5 years. People struggle to believe that, but it is the truth. So this is still here 2.5 years later. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about the thing that I get the most questions about on YouTube, on Instagram, basically all social media. The thing that I also get the most hate comments on, and that is my lips. Now, I know that there is no one sat at home watching this that thinks that my lips are natural. If you think they're fake, you are absolutely correct. They are fake, they are full of filler, and it is something that I haven't ever talked about. Like, I've never really done a video about my lips, about why they look how they look, about what I did to them, what happened. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today, the truth about my lips. So I suppose we should start at the beginning, which was probably like, well, the beginning was the beginning when I was born and I had regular lips, but the beginning of the lip filler journey was 2012, and my lips were just normal. They weren't like really thin, they weren't really plump, they were just like regular lips. And I started earning a little bit more money, and with that money I decided I wanted to get some filler. So I actually went to a place in Birmingham called the Hospital Group. They were sort of a place that did like plastic surgery, and they were really reputable. Now that is the #1 important thing that I want to get across in this video. If you're going to have lip filler, do not go round to your friend's house in her back garden and have it done laying on some sort of weird massage couch. Make sure you're doing your research, because no matter what sort of procedure you're having done, you need to be having it done by like a qualified professional. So like I said, I went to the Hospital Group and I had about 1 ml put in of, I believe it was Juvederm, which is like a hyaluronic acid based filler. Now hyaluronic acid is actually something that your body has the capability to break down naturally over time. So it's not like having silicone put in your body where it will just stay there forever. So you can have your lips filled and then gradually over time they will go back to how they were. Now I then left my lips, and I will try and like put some pictures in here of what they looked like before. Hopefully there'll be a before photo right now, and then after I'd first had them done. They weren't anything crazy, it just gave me a little bit more definition in my cupid's bow at the top and like plumped them out a little bit. But when you first have your lips done, they swell. Now some people only get sort of minor swelling. Mine swelled quite a lot for about a week, so I sort of got used to having these really big like voluminous lips. And then when the swelling went down, it almost felt like I'd had nothing done, and I think that's where the addiction started. So fast forward a couple of more years and I went back and had my lips done again. Now, I'm not going to be naming and shaming anybody, but I went to a practitioner that I would not personally recommend. I'm sure that they are fantastic at their job, but for me, the whole procedure sort of wasn't, it just wasn't what I wanted. Now, when you have your lips filled, you can't just take a photo in and say, I want my lips to look like this, because obviously they have a natural shape and filling them is just going to enhance that natural shape. You can have things done, like I always have these bits here, which are called your philtrum columns. I have them filled to make them stand out a little bit more, but you still can't change the whole shape of your lips. I had another mil put in, then I went back for another half, then I went back for another half, and it got to the point where they were basically just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And again, I'll try and pop some photos in here. I don't actually know how many photos I've got of like that period of time in my life, because it wasn't a good time, and I definitely became addicted to making them bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, this is something that I know people that have sort of plastic surgery will often say. You do become addicted to it, and then you do start picking out flaws and things that you don't like, and it becomes an absolute obsession. So at this point, I'd probably spent about £1,200 on my lips, which now when I'm saying it out loud sounds ridiculous, but that was the truth. I then found a different practitioner. He is absolutely incredible. I will absolutely recommend him, and I will tell you guys, it's called Sy Clinic, SY Clinic, and he's fantastic. It's a guy called alllll, and he is who I've been having my lips done with for the last like 3 or 4 years. And I went to him and basically said, look, I know that as like a, what's the word, practitioner or whatever the word is, you're supposed to make people look like naturally beautiful. I don't want that. I want them to look big and fake and really like intense. I wanted them to be huge, and that was my aim. So he agreed. And that is what we did. And I basically went every couple of months and just kept topping up the filler until they got to like a ridiculous size. So you only normally need to go maybe like once every 12 months and just make sure that it's topped up to keep it where it was. I wasn't doing that. I was just adding to it and to it and to it. And the reason that you can't have it all done in one go is because your lips just would not take it. Like, you can't just whack loads in there. You have to do it gradually. It got to the point where they were this big. Have a look at this photo here. You might be thinking they don't look that dissimilar now, but to me the difference between what they look like now and what they look like then was ridiculous. As well, I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to look in the viewfinder on camera, I've now got like the lines back in my lips, but they were that filled before that they were like completely smooth. Now, everybody, and I mean 99% of people that leave hate comments on my YouTube channel are saying, what the fuck have you done to your lips? What's wrong with your face? Why are your lips like that? And it honestly doesn't bother me for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is my body and I'm choosing to do this because I want to. So it's not something that I was born with. For example, the gap in my teeth. If people were going at that, maybe I'd get upset. But because I've chosen to do it to myself, I don't get as upset about it. Number two, I almost had like a body dysmorphia kind of thing going on. I used to look in the mirror and think that they weren't big enough. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, just to make people aware that that can happen. Like, it's like when you start dieting and you still look in the mirror and you still think that you're huge and you're like a size 6, so you're definitely not huge. But no matter how much people tell you, when you look in the mirror, you don't see what they're seeing. So I wanted to create like a bit of awareness with this as well. At the time, I was super, super happy with them. Every single person I came across in my day-to-day life, like at work and stuff, would ask me about it and basically wouldn't be very nice. Like, oh, you would be so pretty if you didn't have lips like that. Oh, you'd look so nice if you stopped putting filler in your lips. And I was a bit like, what the hell has it got to do with you? That's how I got really defensive. And the more that people said they didn't like it, the more I kind of thought, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. So that's basically what I did. However, COVID then hit. Oh, COVID. So I had no choice. Like, I couldn't get any work done. And the practitioner that I use, actually, I used to get done up in the Midlands. I now live down south, so he's like 4 hours away. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't just like pop in and see him. So now I'm going to do a bit of a close-up. Hopefully you guys can see. My lips are still very big. I'm not doubting that at all. I'm just saying they're not as big as they were. For me, when I look in the mirror now, I think they look kind of small, which again is ridiculous because I know when I look at photos that they're not, but it's that whole body dysmorphia sort of thing that makes me think, I could just have another meal put in. It is really addictive. So I'm hoping that this video has like answered people's questions, like, what the fuck have you done to your lips? I've had them filled to within an inch of their life. I've spent a fortune on it, probably close to £2,000. I know that people don't like how it looks, but I do. And that is all I've got to say on the matter. Like, yes, there are bits like from the side. I don't like my side profile because as the hyaluronic filler is being broken down, obviously certain bits are breaking down faster than others. So it is changing the shape of my lips. Also, when I talk, you may never have noticed this, but you will now. This side of my mouth is always higher. I talk kind of out of the side of my mouth. And because my lip filler is disappearing, you definitely notice it more. So when I'm editing videos, I really notice it. But it's not the end of the world. You know, I did it and I was happy with it at the time. Would I do it again right now? Like, if I could go and get them filled huge again? No, I probably wouldn't. But at the time, it made me really happy. So if you're going to take anything away from this video, I would just like it to be that, number one, make sure you're having something put in your face that can be removed. If I want these lips dissolved back to how they used to be, I can go and have that done. You can have all of the filler dissolved, as you might know. so that they just look back to normal. So that's one reason why it doesn't really worry me. Number two, if you are going to have them filled, make sure you're going to a serious licensed practitioner. Make sure you've done your research, you know, don't just go into somebody's like spare room, because it can be really dangerous. And number three, I suppose, is like a bit of body positivity. If you're happy with the way you look, don't worry about what other people say, because I get shit for this on a daily basis and I still don't let it bother me. There's a million other things that do bother me, but this was my choice and I'm happy with it. So I hope that's cleared up some rumours. I hope that's cleared up like some speculation and has explained to you guys what the hell has happened to my lips. But they're not going away anytime soon. Like I said, they are staying, and will I have them done again? Probably, I'm not gonna lie. As always, guys, thank you for sitting here with me and listening to me ramble. If you enjoyed it, then please join the family and click that subscribe button. I would love to have you. Make sure you're staying safe. Don't let anybody tell you bad things about yourself. Love the skin you are in. If you don't love it, you can always have a couple of cosmetic tweaks here and there, and don't let anybody tell you that's bad either. I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.